Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to hack a terminal in Fallout 76, but this also applies to Fallout 4. These are pretty much the same. The Fallout 4, I think you need perks to do it longer. So typically what I do to hack a terminal is I don't even bother with trying to really hack it. All I do is I select the first 4 or 3 words, depending on your terminal. And I just keep on doing that. That to me is just the quickest and easiest way. And normally I'll hit it in 2 or 3 times. On the rare occasion it takes a bit longer, maybe 5, 6 times. But versus, spending a lot of time trying to go hack the terminal. But for those that actually want to hack the terminal and want to do it that way, by all means, you can do that. I'm going to show you quickly what you need to look for. Typically you want to look for brackets that kind of match. So you kind of look at those brackets, you look at kind of the triangle or open, close brackets, and you'll notice if you go down, in this case, I'll show you when we find one, it'll actually select the whole bracket. In this case, you'll notice when I went down there, it selected a whole 3 or 4, 5, 6 characters. When I went up here to this one, for instance, it didn't do the same thing, right? So it only selected itself. But once you've seen this and it selects a whole bunch, you've actually found an area that you can try and eliminate. So typically what you want to do is you want to kind of select a word, a couple of words, or maybe 2 or 3, and if it doesn't work, then you go down and hack it. And the reason you want to do that is it'll do some retries. So if we go down here, it'll reset your retries. So if you do it in the beginning, you kind of lose those retries ability, right? So dud removed in this case, right? So if we continue going down again, so it's kind of the round brackets, the triangle brackets, and there's also some of these square brackets that you kind of want to look for as well. So if we go down here, see there's another one. So we've got the sort of round area brackets. If we click on that, tries reset. So if you had not selected any words, then that would have been a wasted tries reset, because you wouldn't have actually had any tries, right? So that's kind of the gist of it, is you go down. So for me, it just takes longer to kind of go through this. Some people want to do this, go down and kind of hack it in I guess the way it was intended. But to me, it just takes more longer than it needs to be. So again, this one, dud removed. And it just can limit the amount of tries you try if you do it this way. To me, it just seems to take longer. I don't really bother doing that myself, unless it's maybe like a hard one. In this case, it's a 0 level lock. So if maybe it's an expert level lock, then you kind of want to do that. There's another one there, that removed. And this will apply to Fallout 4 as well. It works in a similar way. It probably applies to some of the other Fallouts. They probably all work in the same way. I haven't really played the other one, so I can't really comment. I can tell you now this is very similar to Fallout 4. So it will work for both 76 and FO4 as well, right? Okay. There's another one. We missed that one earlier. That removed. So just go down to all the brackets, and then you can eliminate all the tries, and then it might save you a bit of time. But like I said, for me, normally what I do is I select. Was it another one? No. I just select the words at the top. Eventually, these words will rotate, not the same words, but eventually the right word will be in the top 4 at the top. So normally what I do is I'll select the top 4, and in the case I've collected those 2 already earlier on, I'll go 3rd one, and then 4th one, and then it should lock. I might have one more try. Oh, I had the tries reset, so I'll probably have a few more words here. Okay, and it locked out. So normally that's all I do, just because I think it takes less time. You don't have to think about it. You just select the top 4 words in this case. Fallout 4, I believe it's a 10-second wait unless you have the perks. So at least at 76 they made it a little bit less tedious. Okay, lock out there. So that's my 2nd try there. No, I mean, you could pay attention to one thing I didn't mention earlier on, of course. Let me go back then, I'll show you what if you do select a word, you'll notice on the right there, likeness equals 1. Obviously look for those, so if you see a likeness of 2 or 3 letters, the other thing I should mention is when it says 1, 2, or 3, it is typically, I believe it is in the order. So what that really means is the likeness will be, in this case, an S would be in the same position on another word. Not necessary. So if it could be an S, H, I, or P, one of those would be in the same word. So let's just say it was an S. In this case, I don't know it is, but I'm just saying for an example, you'd look for another word like S in this case, and then you could try that S because the likeness is going to be 1, right? Let's see if we can find one with more. The ones that you want to look for is stuff like ends with ed, for instance. A lot of words, will end with ed, or common words like es in this case, uses. Those are the ones. So if you see like 2 letters or likeness equals 2, you go through the words and you'll look for 2 common letters in both the words, right? Okay, I didn't see. I only saw 1 likeness there in that case. And this is an easier lock. So that becomes more in play if it's an expert lock, because the words are much longer, right? But do pay attention. You might be able to save yourself a bit of time if you do notice that. If you've got a couple of likenesses, like normally I wouldn't bother 2, but maybe 3 or 4 would be worthwhile looking at other words. And in that case, then you can go scroll down through the other words to see if it's, instead of just doing the top 4, right? And again, I mean, this top 4 will work with any lock, regardless. It'll eventually come to the top, guaranteed. That's how I do mine all the time. Likeness is 1, so it could be either one, E, V, I, L, either one of those letters. Likeness 1. And like I said, normally it takes me 2-3 tries to get it. In this case, it's taking longer. But keep doing that. And if it really you can't get it, then yeah, just go through and try hack the limit. Get rid of the duds if you really can't hack the tonal. Of course, it's not going to do it in. Oh, there we saw a 2 there, which was RU, except I used the last one. But we could have gone and looked for some words that had 2 letters that were consistent. Let's see if we can find another one like that. 0 likeness. Likeness 1, likeness 2, and then right there. So we've got it. So like I said, you'll eventually get it. You don't have to think about it. Just select the top words and go through, or select the bottom words if you want, whatever, as long as it's more consistent. Eventually one of those words will be in that the 4 that you select, and there you go, you can open the door. So quite easy to do, and if you really want to do it the proper way, you can go through and select either all the brackets and reduce things after a few tries, or keep an eye on the likeness, and then you can go through and, like I said, in terms of the letters, if it's a S in the beginning, look for another word with an S, or if it's an I or an S and an I, look for all the words with S and I, and normally it'll be I believe it'll be in the same position. That'll make it a little bit easier to hack. So good luck. Hope you found that useful. If you did, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already.